to the audio show.
The podcast is already a disaster before it even starts. what, what exactly is this? You know what? Let's get into this. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. What about I have? Let's see here. Friendships versus associates, like the difference. Like real friends versus just your associates. Right.
Hold on. Delicia is really seriously giving these topics. Hold on, Delicia. This is laughable. So Delicia is giving topics that she cannot even, she has no moral framework to stand on unless she's going to teach people how to be, what you call it now, how to be a scammer. How to be, if that's what you're going to teach people, then sure, you have one. But if you're trying to say that you're morally, that's what I tell you, that this podcast is nonsense. If you're trying to tell people from a morally sound place, you're not gonna win anybody over with these things, and you're not morally sound.
Red flags that we ignore as women. We could talk about,
You mean like the promise ring you just got today? I can't bother with Delicia, I swear. The pretense in Delicia is uncanny. Delicia is just as much delusional as Shayla. The levels of pretending that Delicia will go to, I've never seen before.
that. Crazy versus crazy in love. Like, are you really like crazy over a man, or are you just crazy in love?
What kind of topic is that? What kind of are you crazy in love over a man? That's the topic you want to go on a podcast that's supposed to be a big podcast? Who's gonna watch this stuff?
Okay. Dating multiple men at once, is it empowerment or is it
All right.
emotional
Okay. Those
burnout?
are good. So let's backtrack a little bit. I think that we should talk about like the frequency, the kind of energy and vibe that we want to give the podcast.
That's a good question. You know what? I think that all of those shots are meant for Shayla just now. I feel like every shot she just fired just now was a Shayla shot. Friend, whatever it is crazy over a man. Those are Shayla shots. Boy, Delicia is firing them up right now.
Because I know I was thinking more like the real and less like the shade room.
Right.
So like what's our vibe? What's our energy?
Do you feel like that was giving shade room?
A little bit, yeah. Like, do we really want to talk about 50-50 and
Those are topics.
The only topics that she knows, because they're the only topics she's thinking about, so she don't really know any other topics. But it's interesting though, because they have no command of anything. This is what happens when you're not that educated, right? And it's no knock against people who are not educated, but there is a knock against people who feel like they must go command a space, and you don't even have the information to go command the space. If you follow where I'm coming from, because let me make it not knock. You can have people that graduate high school and is able to articulate themselves well. You do have that. You do have people who just have a bachelor's and them articulate very, very well. In fact, you have people who probably have never, it didn't graduate from school, but some way, somehow, they've done enough courses where they can articulate their points across. But right here, so you can tell, these girls, what they're going to talk about is nothing that they can articulate well, because they're not living it. If you follow where I'm coming from. It's not even so much about the education, it's about you living what you're going to talk about.
But it's like beat down to the ground. Like, we know how everybody feels about that.
yeah, we need to bring something fresh to the podcast space.
And like a higher frequency. Like, and
But you're not high frequency girls. Hold on. You cannot be going into a frequency that you're not in. You're not in high frequency space. If you were in the high frequency space, you could have said this, but none of them are high frequency. So how you go spit high frequency phrases without being high frequency?
Like?
I'm being honest. Just like you said, we need to elevate our style. I feel like we should elevate the frequency.
The
You know what I mean?
conversation,
Like,
yeah. The topics need to match the outfits.
Like what? What you gonna talk about? Like business? How to make $1 million in business? But you guys have never made $1 million in business, so you can't talk about that. That would be like a salesman, basically. It's like a sales pitch. So you couldn't talk about that. What else are you going to talk about? How to run a... I don't know. What would they talk about? How to be a successful mother? Shayla couldn't talk about that because she really isn't being a successful mother right now. No.
Shayla, where are your topics? I would love. I'm so curious. Is
There
your
is.
frequency.
If you sign into the doc,
We have
We
them
got 'em.
listed.
You guys are cute. Especially you, Samara. You're really cute right now. I know your man is funding all of this.
he is.
I get it. But trust and believe. I want to bring a sponsor on so bad, but your man will not allow that. And you know what? I'm so tempted to find someone to partner up. Like, because the way that
Delicia.
y'all are carrying it is so, it baffles me.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's the Kountry Wayne podcast. Wayne is our investor, and that's what's going on. And that don't have nothing to do with the topics. I'm saying we all just gotta agree.
And don't you
Well, she actually is saying that, y'all have come up with an idea for a podcast. And yes, Wayne is going to take the podcast from y'all because you don't have any monies invested in it. So she's actually right that, yes, you may have needed to get yourself some investors, but because they don't know anything else, you know what I'm talking about? But they're going to try to command, what do you call it now? They're going to try to command a space that they know nothing of. That's what I'm talking about.
a rich man that could have invested, so we don't have to deal with all this, like.
What
I
are we
mean,
dealing with?
but the
Delicia?
reality
We're
of the
just getting on the
situation
same
is
page.
Wayne invested in the podcast, and I just want to make sure that it is up to par. Same thing, no shade, nothing. Just like you said about changing the wardrobe and all that stuff, and we agreed. So can we?
No, I
agree?
feel some type way because y'all went behind me and went in furniture shops.
Oh my God! No, we didn't go behind you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go behind her and do the furniture shopping. In fact, a question now out there is what happened to Candice? Like, how does Candice fit in all of this? Because that's another big question that people have got asked now. But anyways, hey, give me your take on this one. I don't know. Chicken heads running around is always a disaster. A recipe for disaster, I would say. I don't know what this is. It looks like it's all over the place. Then that's a sure them I get done. But you know what? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell me I'll talk to you all soon. I'll see you guys at the live. Bye-bye.